All right, ladies and gentlemen, and we're here back with Sustainability 101. And my guest, Sterling. Sterling, so nice for you to be here.
Nice to be here.
And today we're going to be debating pretty much cities get smarter. And the example that we're going to be talking about today, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be Songo, South Korea. Which, Sterling?
Songo, South Korea is a very, very urbanized city that's actually built on top of landfill.
Wow.
As a way to be more eco-friendly, they've actually set in a number of different plans, such as creating a 100-acre park
Okay.
and a massive public transportation system that's very, very efficiently run.
So pretty much what they're doing now, folks, is they're using technology to optimize.
Exactly.
Okay.
They're even going so far as in homes themselves, Cisco networks work to develop a way of gaining the most efficiency out of all of their electronics, specifically in the lights, in the freezers and refrigerators.
Another cool fact that I was reading, Sterling, is saying something about Cisco networking for apartments.
Exactly.
Can you build a little more on that? What I was reading is that it has it's pretty much a 100-acre park, which saves people gas. It's more like it's like an actual plant where people they use it for like carpooling and stuff. You save gas. It's eco-friendly, and it's good for the environment.
Exactly. Songo and their government have actually worked with Cisco to develop the most efficient possible way to run the city itself, especially in these apartments.
Okay.
With this park at the city center, it creates a green space for all sorts of people to relax, enjoy themselves, and the public transportation will move around that park, creating an open area for them.
Okay. And also I was reading, it was really interesting, it says something about their waste system. Well, it decreases the overall waste by 20 to 40% out of the whole area.
Exactly.
Which, if you look at it, that's pretty impressive.
Imagine
if we could get some sort of system similar to that one here in the U.S. Could it be applied to Sterling? That's pretty much the key question that all of our viewers want to know.
Could absolutely be applied to our system.
And why doesn't it happen?
To the policymakers for the time being. When we move towards a greater environmentally friendly world that we're trying to develop, and we get these different lawmakers to get on board with our public opinion, then we'll develop plans very similar to that.
That's exactly what we're seeing, ladies and gentlemen. It's not that it cannot be done. It's that we got to put the maximum effort of people that want to accomplish that goal, and getting our senators, our governors, the people that we're electing with our votes out there to actually apply rules, apply laws that will be eco-friendly, that will benefit the environment for the many years to come, for our future generations.
Exactly.
Just as you can see, South Korea, it's pretty much it's a developing nation, but it's not first world country like us. And look at the kind of sustainability technology they have been able to apply in those areas.
Exactly. It's entirely up to us as the individuals and citizens of our country to push forward these ideas and to actually take the time to study what different countries are doing to become more eco-friendly. Because specifically with South Korea, like we had said, that it is a developing country.
It is,
they
yeah.
have these plans and actions to make it so that the future generations will have the most available to them.
They have probably one of the worst regimes right next to them as a neighbor in North Korea. And they have been able to forget about that and apply this and set an example for all the nations that want to follow the right foot to being an eco-friendly nation. Everybody talks about that. We constantly hear, oh yeah, I'm going green, I'm recycling this and that, but it takes cities and governments. Because it all comes down to the government, because I can have an idea, you can have an idea. But if our government does not support us, then we're not going to be able to reach the maximum heights as a nation, as South Korea and the city of Songo has been able to do.
Exactly.
So ladies and gentlemen, this has been Sustainability 101 with Mr. Sterling. And Mr. Sterling, thank you for doing it for real, man. Hopefully we'll keep talking about this and engaging on more topics about this, which I know fit your interest, and it's really important to all of us to really get involved and know how to be a smarter city. It's not having the ideas or having the applications. It's seeing the actual the actual truth behind it, which a city like South Korea has developed, and it's pretty impressive. So it was great to debate this with you guys, and hopefully we'll see more of this. Hopefully here in the U.S. and the later going. Thank you, Sterling.
Thank you.
And folks, we'll see you next time on Sustainability
101.
I don't know which plant cypress trees, but when I do, I always make sure they're native.
Ladies, look at your man. Now back at me. Now back at him. Now back at me. Unfortunately, your man is not me. A sustainable man. Take care of the environment.
And welcome back to Sustainability 101. My name is Sterling Jackson. I'll be taking the place of Clement today. Today with me I have Joey Forma. Nice to meet you.
How you doing, Sterling?
And for today's talking points, we're going to be discussing data-driven cities and the use of the internet and technology in establishing greener cities, especially in developing countries. Now, Joey, the big data-driven city has always been London. They've gathered so much data, especially through the use of their cameras, to create a greater workflow and to figure out a way to ecologically develop the rest of the city so that it's much more sustainable. Do you know of any other countries that are doing that?
You know, Sterling, I was watching the video Flow, and it talked about India. You know? And in India, the citizens actually created kind of like a dam, like a storage in the floor, in the ground. So when it rains, they store the water. So that is a great way of using your natural resources, and reusing them, managing them. You know what I mean? They grabbed LED lights, and they had water flow through the LED lights to purify it, clean it. Then it recycles. Citizens come, for affordable amount, about $1 or $2, if I'm not mistaken. The video said you could actually purchase enough water for the day or two, and it's great because it helps the economy, with money. It helps to purify the water that you're using, recycling it and all of that, and it just helps overall everyone.
And do you feel that India's Right to Information Act specifically is targeting projects like this? Their need for more information and the ability to use that information, especially like India, where water is so scarce.
I think that it is great, for India to come with this act. It's a great way of passing information, letting other countries have a knowledge of how to use these information, how to create these ways of sustainability, like the whole way of purifying water, in Africa, you could take this information, teach them, information is knowledge. You teach them this knowledge, and they'll learn how to store the water when it does rain, how to purify it, or how to pump water from the ground, purify it, and be able to, grow crops and help develop, their cities.
And do you feel that at a global scale, we should make all of this information widely available?
Sterling, I think that is very smart what India does, what London does, with information and how do they use it. And I think it should be a social responsibility for us to teach and pass this knowledge to other cities. Like the United States, we're one of the richest countries in the world, yet our ecological footprint is so large. So imagine these developing countries start using technology, start taking advantage of more of the environment. What are we going to do? So I think knowledge is power.
Now, do you feel that there should be a, say, global law protecting that information so that no specific company can actually have the single and solitary rights to it, so that other countries that may not be able to afford that information.
Well, I know there's been a lot of controversy with, how to create a law for a natural resource. Like how do you create a law for the sun, for sunlight? It's hard to do that. But I believe that if our government creates laws that protect the environment, for example, rain falls, you store it. Create a law that protects that stored water, not for someone to come and take advantage of it and try to tax you on it. We want to live sustainably. So if I can afford the taxation that you're putting on the water, land, whatever it is, then how could I live sustainably? It's going to be really difficult. And if we could teach our government, our citizens, and create this awareness of what's going on in the planet. Unfortunately, media inflates a lot, and a lot of people are blind and don't see what's going on throughout the world. But if we could teach everyone to learn how to live sustainably, it'll be great. And the laws that help that will even be better.
Make a very good point there. Now, that all being said, of course, we know that establishing laws over natural resources and information is very difficult to do, especially in terms of protecting it. Those are some of the most hotly disputed laws. Specifically for developing countries, do you think there needs to be a completely free information act, like say with India, where we as a developed nation, as a nation that is constantly pursuing a higher level of sustainability, should we always be sharing this information with them so that their ecological footprint may not reach what ours is already?
I mean, as we all know, money makes the world go round. And a lot of times when you create these laws, there's a lot of people that come, companies, and try to take advantage of these laws so they could sell this information. I think if they create common laws, where it's just understood, where you have non-profit agencies giving classes, teaching. FGCU does a great job, helping us with a colloquium class that teaches us about special topics like this, that the world is going through. So if we could actually teach these smaller countries or large countries that are just not developed as well as we are, and let them know about all this stuff, then they can also expand this information. Every generation learns about it, so then they don't become greedy, unfortunately, like many of us, and their ecological footprint will be smaller.
Sounds great. Joey, great news. Something very interesting just occurred on the FGCU campus.
What happened?
There apparently is a mass protest moving towards the biophilic revolution. We're going to go live now.
This is great.
Look at this massive gathering all in the name of the biophilic revolution. As we speak, we're receiving updates from our journalists in the field. Even more breaking news. This isn't a gathering for the biophilic revolution at all, but rather to celebrate the FGCU basketball team's amazing accomplishment of making it into the Sweet 16. This is Sterling Jackson for Sustainability 101, signing off.